Just getting everything set up. Hang tight. It's gonna be a great one. But hold on, I'm getting an echo, so give me 1 second. Perfect. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Now remember, I'm still working out all the tech on this. Just give me 1 second. Gonna fix one thing. We're gonna start here very shortly. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Test. Ooh. Okay, I believe I found it. That pesky Twitch feeds it back live. So y'all know we've got people on Twitch, we've got people on YouTube, and people on Facebook. This is Into the Verse. Let's do a proper starting though. Let's do a proper, pretend you haven't seen me yet. And let's do a proper starting, and then I will cut this. So none of that is in there. All right, let's turn this down. Drop a comment if you guys can hear the music and everything else. If you can't, here we go. I gotta get into it. It's been a crazy week. Lots of travel. Lots of things going on, so let me just get into it. Okay, it's the first chapter of the Bible. Now, who better to do this than a creator itself? I live in a video game world. I create video games. Literally, this show is happening in a video game, okay? Creation of light, creation of elements. This is what I do. I live in a religious world too, and both of these groups that I associate with, video game people, religious people, both think we are definitely living in a creation. Didn't happen by chance. Didn't happen by some crazy big bang. I mean, even this behind you just created just a little while ago, just a couple hours ago. So anyways, we're gonna go. Oh, well, so all that said, all that put together, we're not gonna take that angle on any of this. I'm not gonna throw all the creation stuff at you today. When you look at Genesis 1 and you live in 2022, Genesis 1 is not a creation story. It is a relevant 2022 story for, did I say 2021? 2022 story for what is going on right now. These verses take on everything we are going through. The pandemic, you're going to see it. This is so relevant. It's as if the first page of the Bible is what we're living through right now. It addresses all of the crazy questions, all of the crazy things we're going through. So let's get to it. That's the most important part. And I would like to welcome you all into the verse. Okay, all right, here we go. So if you remember last week, what we did is we started on the creation story. And if you recall, there are three, you can see up here, there are three versions of the creation. All right, the Genesis one in the Bible, that's what we're going to go through today, okay? The Moses one in the Pearl of Great Price, that's what we did last time. And we learned that you are God's why. Literally, his whole why, that you're his why. All of this creation was done for your enduring forever. That's it. And then we've got the top one at the Abraham version. So now, one thing that wasn't very clear last week was that they all start about here. Can you see that line I'm drawing? This is where the creation story starts, but everything before that is before the creation. So this is all bonus. All of this is bonus. We're going to read in the beginning, but that is not in the beginning. There was a lot. You'll see. Let me just say, eternity is a hard concept to understand. When did things start? When did things end? But for video game creators, it's very easy. It's just a loop. You create a world. It lasts forever. It lasts until you turn it off. You can go through it as long as you want. So to God, eternity is a very easy concept. For us, there's ends and beginnings. But even though it's going to say in the beginning, in this Genesis version is the first words, that's not the beginning. We go way back before that in these other versions. So I just wanted to be clear about that. That's all before. But since we took on the Moses version, learned some really great stuff last week, we're now going to go in the actual creation version. So let me edit, undo all that. And let's get started. And by the way, we have got fantastic movies. I had to travel this week and family and prepare this. So life is a little crazy. And I'll try to put my head on the screen. While I was in California, I stopped and I got to talk to people and I asked them what they thought of this chapter and if it was relevant. I was blown away what I learned and what I saw. And so stick around. The movies get better and better. There's 7 videos of people on the streets, Huntington Beach. Thank you, Huntington Beach people, talking to me about the Bible. It did not deter my ounce of faith at all. In fact, it built my faith in people. There's a lot of negative being thrown at us. It's not right. It's not what's really going on. There is positive, very strong, very faithful people all over who love God, who love Jesus, who love the scriptures. And I was able to find that firsthand, and that was very exciting. And you're going to see them too. There's also a lot of confused people and a lot of people who wouldn't give me the time of day. We're not going to talk about them. So let's begin right here. Now, before we begin, really quick, your comments, they pop up right here as soon as you drop a comment. And if you want to call into the show and be in the show, because that's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to hang around with cameras. I'm doing this to hang around with you. and the scriptures and God. And so this is going to be a live show, and we're going to always have you in it with me. And, you know, right now, probably my mom's the only one watching, but soon more people will be watching. And so you just email into the verse yo@gmail.com. Excuse me. I will send you a link, and you will pop on the show to drop that knowledge and teach people and ask questions, go over things you're concerned about and wondering about and things that you've learned in the scriptures. But without further talking, let's begin. I will switch this to, here we go. And we're going to begin in the first book of Moses. Remember, this is Moses writing this, but that shouldn't make any, that shouldn't bring any questions, because in the book of Moses, you get all of that pre-stuff of how he got this information in the first place while he was on a mount. Okay, so let's start with, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now already, there's a lot of terms that I thought I knew what they meant, and actually I did not. So first off, God. Second off, created. Third off, heaven. Fourth off, earth. Let's start with one. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the triangulation process, how you learn word. How do you figure out what weird words mean in the Bible? Best way I have found is finding that word in a different place, triangulating it, and that's how you find out what it means. So for example, let's take heaven here. Okay, we're going to see that right over here, it's written again. Do you see that over there? But in this case, we learn, you're going to see later on, but just to explain, we're going to learn heaven just means the sky. This is good to understand, because people like to say, are you going to go to heaven? Are you going to go to hell? That is actually not the right term for the afterlife. That is eternal life, exaltation. You're going to learn a lot more about that. Heaven, when we're referring to it in the Bible, it's referring to the atmosphere, the sky, okay? So this is the creation of the sky and the earth. Now, just as a heads up, we're not just triangulating Bible verses, we're triangulating other versions of the story. And when it says, in the beginning right here, God, most people just dance past that and don't think about that much, but look what happens when you go and you read that same verse in the Moses version. What do we learn? We learn some great stuff. And it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Behold, I reveal unto you concerning this heaven, sky, and this earth. Write the words which I speak. I am the beginning and the end. Okay, he keeps going. He creates the heavens. Let's keep going. All right, look what he says right here. I am the beginning and the end, the Almighty God, by mine only begotten I created these things. So the Moses version explains that this is not just God. This is God utilizing Christ, Jesus, okay, the Old Testament Jehovah, to create. Okay, this is not just God mandating. This is God empowering Jesus to create. Okay, so you'll see through this entire version of Moses, him referencing almost the same. Everything else is almost the same, but he's constantly referencing by the word or by Jesus died to this. So you want to imagine when you're hearing God in the Genesis version, you're imagining God and Jesus doing this together. It gets even clearer. It gets even clearer in the Abraham version. Check this out. I got to get down there somewhere. When he says in the Abraham, see, we're right here in the Abraham version. And then the Lord said, let's see right here. And then the Lord said, let us go down. And let us go down. So this even further emphasizes this was not a solo job, this creation. This world was not a solo plan, okay? Look what it says in the Abraham version. Let us go down, and they went down. Who's they? Well, we know from the Moses version, we got Jesus and God. And look what I'm going to take it down to here. Look what the Look what the Abraham version shows us. The gods. The gods. organized and formed the heavens and the earth. The Abraham version might be the best key to understanding the creation side of Genesis, which I only want to spend a little bit more time on, and then move on to the relevant side, which is way more crucial. The part that talks about the pandemic going on right now, the marriage, all of the different things were going on. Remember, you can call in, email into the verse yo@gmail.com. You can call on the show and drop some knowledge. Okay, back to the Abraham version. The Abraham version, look what it says, the gods. So we're talking about God for sure, Jesus for sure, and it uses other words, not create, organized, formed, as in it explains further. This was not created from nothing, okay? There's a lot to go down this path. It's not as important as what is going on today, though, but I just want to show that you learn insane amounts of detail that basically explains, it triangulates the meaning of what the Genesis version is talking about and vice versa. So let's go back to the Genesis version, knowing those cool pieces. Like for now, in Genesis, you say in the beginning. Well, we know it wasn't the beginning. There was a lot that happened, but in the beginning of the creation, God, Jesus, and Heavenly Father, and a lot of people they used, created, Abraham says, organized, formed the heavens, the sky, and the earth. Okay, you get it. You're smart now. Who cares if you're smart? What are you going to do about it? And how is it actually going to apply? How is it relevant? That's all that matters. Let's hit this one up. All right. We're getting to the fun part. Stay to the last video. It's my favorite. Second to last. And the earth was out without form and void. Okay. Another weird words, form and void. In the Abraham version, it says empty and desolate, meaning they're going to create this place. Just so you know, look, this is what I imagine it could have looked like. By the way, I can move the sky, I can move the clouds, I can move the bottom, I can add mountains, whatever I want. It feels when you're a video game maker like you are doing creation like God. But anyways, there's nothing there. It's empty. It's desolate. It's beautiful, but it's empty and desolate. That's what the Abraham version calls it. Verse 2 of Genesis, the earth was without form and void, meaning there isn't the things that are supposed to be there yet. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And here we go for our first video about light. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. All right, let's watch a movie from, well, you'll see. Very fun. Thank you, Pascal, for coming on. And I want actually all of you to come on, so enjoy. Almost every crazy issue going on right now. COVID, gender, marriage, should you have kids, should you not, evolution, creation, all of that addressed in chapter 1 of the Bible. Get ready as we see what the people think. Who are we here with today?
Hey, Pascal Johnson, and this is Daisy Lake Johnson. I love words, I'm not huge on, religion or, things like that, but I grew up going to church. I like meaningful things.
Okay,
I still believe in that. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness.
What do you think?
I think that's pretty awesome.
Relevant?
I definitely think it's relevant to look for, the light could also mean hope. Hope, like light at the end of the tunnel. When you feel a little bit hopeless, you find these meaningful words and you find hope in them. And I think that's what it's meant to do, meant to inspire you.
Oh, I love it, Pascal.
Hey, Jesus Christ was a cool dude. He was a really cool dude.
I love that. Jesus Christ was a really cool dude. Not into religion, but loves Jesus, loves the scriptures or the words of meaning he said. I have a feeling he keeps reading this. He's going to see how valuable they are, and he will actually be very much interested in helping religion, being a part of religion, to be a light. So here we go, back down here. Loved what he said about light being hope. What I think of, he put light, let me see here. Oh. Sorry, just 1 second. This is a good moment to let everyone know I'm looking for a couple coders. I'm looking for a couple animators. I'm looking for a couple tech people to join me on this journey building into the verse. As you can see, the tech is hard to create. So if you're interested, give me an email, into the verse, yo@gmail.com, and come join. Work on this with me. I need the help. Okay, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and the gods divided the light from the darkness. All right, this is what I want us to take. We are the light. You've got to be a light. One of the coolest things in the Abraham version up here that I will make a movie about is this thing right here. One of my favorite parts is this thing, this thing, this thing. Now, there's a lot to talk about this, but I'll make a movie separate just about this. But these things right here, let's see, why is it not? These are light. So what this means is this here is God right here governing the universe. I don't like red. Hold on. This is God governing the universe, okay? And this is him supplying light to the different parts of the universe. That's what that means right there. I was actually able to go to Egypt as a child and learn a lot about hieroglyphics, and so I'm excited to talk to you guys a lot about that. This right here, just so you know, this represents the earth and the journey we pass through to get back to the heavens. You can see the division here. This is the afterlife, or God's presence. This is earth life and what you're going, and it flips. There's a lot to talk about on this one, but I just want to show you the light is very important. It's the first thing he created. For young people, as a video game creator, movie person, light is the most important thing you're putting in there. First thing you do. Look at this. When I'm putting this together, it looks pitch black here until I could put that guy right there to start lighting everything up, making everything beautiful. It's what makes everything possible. The show, the universe, you is light. Okay, so good thing he started off with that. Good thing Pascal saw the importance of that. Verse 5, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. All right, good job. You guys got first day right here from day one. Now, the other versions, Moses and Abraham. Oh, you guys couldn't see. I apologize. Come on, I'm just in the universe doing this. Or the metaverse, you should say, talking about the universe, which is the real important thing. So you've got here, this is day one. All right, you just learned about day one. And let's go on to day two. Oh, I was going to say, in the Moses and the Abraham version, day one and day two are time, not actual days, but time. And Abraham elaborates how much of a time it is, almost 1,000 years. I don't want to get to that. Let's stay relevant. Let's stay 2022. Okay. Why would anyone care about this right now? Well, day one, he made light. That was the first thing he has to do. Lesson 1 of this episode is, I need you to be a light. God needs you to be a light. He's losing too many people. There are too many people getting confused, okay? Even though most people are not. There are still too many getting confused. He needs you to be the light. Just like this silly Egyptian, they needed lights back then. Those guys are holding lights to shine it. They almost look like reflector discs, to shine it towards other people. Come on the show, do social media posts of your own. Be a light, okay? Be a light to others. A lot of people need it, especially right now. Okay, day one of you, day one of this. Be a light. All right, let's go into this one. This one's got some more weird words. We'll explain them, and then we'll go into it. And God, here's where I'm at. And God said, let there be a firmament. Weird word. Abraham version and Moses, or only in the Abraham version, calls it an expanse. We know it as a atmosphere. Okay, so it's basically this. He created the firmament. First, he put light. Okay, then he creates this circular atmosphere. Okay, and what does he do? Let there be a firmament. I'm gonna go to white. I really don't like red. A firmament. Okay, so we're getting that dome atmosphere in the midst of the waters. and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament. And I actually have a video for this, so you guys are going to like this. So here we go. Let's go to the video number 2, explaining what firmament is. And God made the firmament. And then come over here. Oh, I keep forgetting. I apologize. Let's go right. There we go. Here we go. You can tell I got a lot going on. All right, let's go back here. I know this is painful, but once it gets perfect, everyone's going to love it. Okay, and divided the waters which were under the firmament, the atmosphere, from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. All right, let's do this. And God said, let there be a firmament, that means like the atmosphere, in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters, right there, from the waters up there. And God made the firmament, all this right here, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters, like where the rain is and the clouds, which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. It's so beautiful. The cycle of rain and the water going up and being absorbed into the cloud, up into the clouds, and then coming back down, and then it just be this big filter system. It's one of the coolest things. Day 2, water and water, the atmosphere. I love it. I love that. Not me, but talking about the heaven and seeing it there. That beach day was so great. But yeah, what a beautiful thing heaven is. It's so great. Let's move on. Let's move on to, and God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. We're on day 2. Let's keep going to day 3. All right, we got a movie for day 3. Here we go. All right, I for the life of me cannot get a surfer dude to sit down with me and read this verse, so I'm gonna have to be the surfer dude. Gosh, it's like they got something better to do than read the scriptures. Yeah! And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. Oh boy, was it good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass of herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind. And we've got special guests to go over this part. All right, those special guests are coming up, but you've got the division of the land and the sea. So you got the waters and the waters, land and the sea. Very cool. All of this, though, is just pre-making things, pre-creation stuff. This is how we make everything. Computers, cars, video games, with a plan, organizing things, taking things already created, putting them together, making something beautiful. Let's go down here, because yes, there are more people that's ready to talk about the herbs and the seeds in those trees, but we're going to jump ahead to do that because I had some really great friends want to talk about this, and this is where we get to relevant. What's going on today? We've got pandemic, we've got health stuff. The scriptures are so clear and so consistent. Let me repeat. The scriptures are so clear and so consistent how to be healthy, how to keep your body, created the body, how to keep your body healthy. The Bible talks about it in Daniel, in Genesis, in several other places. Okay, we're going to read one here. The Book of Mormon talks about it. Alma 4640. The Doctrine and Covenants, DNC 89 talks about it. All of them. Eat your veggies. That's it. Eat your veggies. That's it. Green herbs, the trees, the roots, the plants, all of them are consistent on talking about that's how you keep your body healthy. That's how you withstand even the disease. I think the Book of Mormon says in Alma 4640, the cure for the cause of all disease is the excellent plants and roots which God had provided. DNC 89, the destroying angel will pass you by, just like it did the children of Israel when they put the blood on their doors, just by making sure you stayed away from alcohol, you stayed away from coffee, you stayed away from all those things, and kept green herbs as your number one, green plants, that's what it is, as your number one food. So let's come over here and check out what these guys had to say. Right here, verse 29. So we're going to jump ahead because there's a connection here, right there. This is where he's creating it, but over here is where he is explaining it. So come over here. God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat." Check this out. I love this one. Bones, the one and only, and Geo.
I mean, I have my own religion. It's like Satanism mixed with like, honestly, I don't really know.
God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb being seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat."
And meat means food. Herb is just like plant.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she's like very old school, so she has like this remedy that.
Yes, I'm with your mom. Old school moms.
She like, so my grandma had COVID, and then she like put lemon tea, lemon juice.
Lemon tea.
Yeah.
Every tree.
And then
Fruit on the tree. That's what I'm saying.
It tastes really bad, but it like.
He doesn't say they're tasty. Would you say this is relevant or not for today?
I think so. Yeah, definitely is.
Gio?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Bible health, baby. That is it. Green herbs. He provided the fuel right along with providing our bodies, and there's no way to go around it. Plant-based foods, super huge. In that case, I guess some lemon tea. God didn't leave you. He didn't make your body and not have a way to keep it resistant against any health challenge. And he explains time and time again here. Let me put this here. I honestly wish other people would bring this up. Churches would bring it up. Anyone would bring it up. Not even my church brings it up. And we have all of it from page 1 of the Bible. All of it in all of our scriptures emphasizing how to be healthy. People are completely silent. I'm going to get nailed for this, but there is absolutely no financial incentive for eating the right foods and taking care of your body. And I think that's a big player in why this is not brought up. It honestly pisses me off. So if you want to take control of you, I would trust first and foremost God and the words that come from him. I have done that, and I have been able to skate through severe illnesses and severe health challenges. And all the things that are going on right now in 2020, 2021, 2022, I've been extremely resilient and able to take on any of these health challenges. So just remember, green herbs, every tree, the fruit of the tree, using that for food has never done anyone wrong. So let's bring it back here. All right, let's skate through this next stuff and move on to more of the applicable stuff. And God said, this is, now we are on day 4. So we are on day 4. So let's just give a little bit of a marking. We got day 1, okay, light and dark. Day 2, the atmosphere, okay, very cool. And day 3, we've got the, let's go here. Gotta love this tech. Every time I have a bad tech problem and you're frustrated, you gotta find me some tech people to help on this. Okay, we got day 3, which is land and sea. And then we've got day 4 just starting right now. So we got land and sea. So he's built all the foundation. And then we got day 4 where he is going to organize the lights and give us some sun and moon. So I wish I could show you. We got a little bit of this going on, but let's jump into it right here. Let's make that bigger so you can actually see better. Sorry, I'm a little nervous, guys. It's not really nervous. It's more the tech driving me nuts. As I get better, this will be enjoyable to watch. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament in the sky of the heaven, firmament of the heaven." There's our clue how to triangulate that, firmament of the heaven, so sky. And you'll hear a lot about that more when he talks about birds flying in the heaven, in the firmament, to divide the day from the night. So now we're dividing the day from the night. Interesting, he's been doing this on days, but he's dividing it in our sphere of life. Right here, he's dividing it day and night, and let them be for signs and for seasons. That's cool. The seasons, winter, fall, spring, summer, for days and for years. Tons of analogies in the scriptures about the seasons. Though your sins be scarlet, they'll be white as snow. The whole Savior, going through the winter, resurrection with the spring, the flowers blossoming. This creator is good. He's good with color. He's good with relationship creation, meaning the different animals, the plants, and our I mean, when you go on a walk, you're having a relationship with all these different living organisms. That's hard to create. I have some experience doing that in video games and in movies. It's very hard to choose the colors, the amount, the size. I mean, just look at an orange. An orange, like, it could be the size of a house. We do this all the time in a video game, and an orange looks like the size of a house, and it just doesn't fit, and you have to spend all this time getting it the right scale. No one thinks about it, and then it has to have the right wrapping and a little piece that fits perfectly in your mouth. I mean, this is so creation. This is so creation. Let's move on. I'm getting sidetracked. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights. Let's see if we can see the moon in my video game set. Wow, you got the stars. And God, I just set it for a revolving period so it would go around while I'm doing this. And God made 2. Just wait till you see what this show is going to look like when I've got it all ready. We can go anywhere. We can go to Noah's Ark. We can go to Moroni's cave or Mormon's cave. We can go anywhere, and it's going to be really fun. There's just one key piece of the set that broke, and I had to send it to Denmark, and it is getting fixed. So as soon as that comes back, we will be rolling with the tech. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. What the best thing to do when you're reading the scriptures is to ask questions. You got to ask questions. Let's get some music while we're doing this. You got to ask questions. Okay, you don't get answers in the scriptures, probably in most of life, until you start asking questions. Why would he create a sun, a moon, and stars? Why would he not just create a sun and blast light at all times? Why not? Why do this? Why not have one season? Why not have summer? Only summer and only sunshine. Why not do it that way? Why not have only flat land with grass? No mountains, no difficult times, no rocks, no snow, no ice. Why would he do this? Why would the gods do this? And then why would he set you here? Why not just create male? We're going to get to it in a second. Why create female? Why create male and female? Why create flowers, bushes? Why give this insane, beautiful amount of diversity in light, darkness, in land, sea, in water above and water below, in day and night, moon and stars? Why? It's so beautiful. Why? Well, we learn from Moses. The purpose of this life, what you're going through right now, what you're living through, is not for you to feel pain and to suffer or to feel joy and to become rich or to succeed or to fail. those are all pieces, bricks, building what the purpose of life is, and that is your immortality and eternal life, meaning you're living forever. You're living with God forever. That's eternal life. That's the quality of it that we learned last time. You having all of the divine attributes God is and being able to do what God does. That's what we learned from the Moses version. So why do you have to have snow? Why do you have to have freezing temperatures? Why do you have to have night where you can't see? Why do you have to have day where it's easy to see? Why do you have to have void and darkness, pain and difficulty, and happiness and joy? Why do you have to die? Why do you have to be old? Why do you have to be young? Why do you have to be rejected? Why do you have to be embraced? I almost don't want to answer because I want to see where your mind goes. But I'm going to tell you one hint that I have gleaned from the scriptures, and that is it is preparing us. It is giving us those experiences and those ability of knowing sweet and salty, good and bad, so that when you are in a divine role, you are fully able to exercise your divine potential, your being a son or daughter of God, being able to do what God does, being able to do what he is, okay? I don't want to elaborate too much, but I want you to think about that. Why is he doing all of this? Why doesn't he just get rid of the darkness? Why does he leave the darkness and then divide it from the light? We know he's not forcing, so you know you have agency, so there's part of it there. I get to choose. There's light and dark, freezing and warm, day and night. I get to choose. He's giving us tons of choices. And from the beginning, you learn in the Abraham version, this is the one thing Satan wanted to take away. What was it? Your agency. He gives you a tree of knowledge we're gonna look at here in a minute, and he gives you a tree of life. You get a choice. From day one, you have to start choosing. And every single time God talks to any one of his prophets, it's always their potential. You're my son. Here are the choices. This is school, baby. This is school. So you don't have to fret so much and fear so much about failure, choosing the wrong. He gave you these choices. He put the rocky path in there to build you. You don't have to be discouraged. I mean, look at how the show is going. It's so full of errors. You gotta get to the point where you know, oh my gosh, he wanted there to be night so I would know the difference. I'm supposed to know the difference. He wanted there to be a big, dangerous ocean so I would know land and ocean, or a big, beautiful ocean so I could see it. He wanted this separation. And you're gonna go through life not having people tell you what the answer is, but by knowing it all exists, these different situations, we can draw a couple things from this. We can draw a couple things, and let's write them down. Let's write these things down that we can pull away from this. What can we pull away from him, God, giving us all of these different options, okay? Different options. I gotta make that smaller. Different options. God likes variety. He likes variety, okay? Well, there'd be only one season if he didn't like it. God is okay with difficulty or uncomfortableness. I have a feeling I've worked on, excuse me, I've worked on movies at high level, professional level places like DreamWorks and Xbox, and I've worked on them at very low professional places. And I'll just say, like in high school. And there is a difference. One time, Deion Sanders, we had to film him, and he said there was a big difference between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Braves. He said there was a big difference in the different locker rooms between a very professional A-list team and one that wasn't. I have found the same difference. Okay, I'm getting to a point. At the high level when you are working on something at a highest professional level, you are highly criticized. Everyone is watching you, telling you what you're doing wrong. You always have to innovate and level it up. You cannot do the same thing. It is very uncomfortable. Every failure you have is magnified, and success is few and far between, and it is extremely competitive. But you are with the masters, and your light and your focus is always the craft, never the journey. And so you get through those difficulties. That's at a pro level. At the low level, it is very much, everyone is nice. You're okay. You don't need you. Everyone is cuddly. Oh, good job. You are not, it is the opposite. Okay. It is the opposite. And it doesn't do anything to help you. Okay. Bring it back. Bring it back. God's giving us a lot of difficulties and a lot of uncomfortableness. And it's to make you a pro at life, to make you a pro at being a son of God into a God. Okay. So this is something we learn from this. He gives you darkness and knows you can get through it and knows you can discern the difference between the light and the dark. He allows Satan to tempt Job. He full on gave him free reign on Job and several others because he knows you can make it through. He knows you can conquer it. And that lesson of getting through that difficulty is it. That is the pearl. That is why he created the video game level to be difficult. And we're going through some pretty hard levels right now in 2022. Let's keep it going because we've got some fantastic stuff ahead. But I like that. I like learning about that. Every time I do one of these shows, I'm learning too. Okay? So let's keep going. We are on finalizing day 4. So here we go. Turn down that music. Oops. And to rule over the day and over the night. Remember, he just did the sun and the moon and light the darkness, and God saw that it was good. I love it. He saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day. Okay, we got a big one coming up. We've talked about the pandemic. We've talked about other relevant things. This one I don't think is that relevant, and it's easy for me to understand. In fact, most tech people, most video game people, most movie people think we're living in a simulation. Okay, we just create so much. Whenever we see a tree, we're not looking at a tree. We're looking at a noise pattern in the leaves and a color differentiation, subsurface scattering as the light comes through the leaves. And we're thinking of how we could create that and then give it some AI to make it behave and have random branches. That's how we're thinking. This is totally creatable, totally creatable. So it's easy for me to see it. But for a lot of science people who may be some of the most non-creative people I've ever met, they can't get it. I don't know why they can't get it. They think this came from nothing. Even though cars and computers and houses and every other thing we build happens by iteration. Learn something, build something, create something, apply that thing in the next model and improve it. Apply that thing in the next model, improve it. So I was always a fan of the iteration theory of creation, which I don't know if anyone else has come out of it or has come up with that, but that's what I call it. The theory of iteration, how things are created. Having said that, being a complete, it's crap evolution. Looking at people when they try to show me evolution, and variation is not evolution. You do not get from a snail to a zebra to a human. Not a chance. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Evolution, garbage. But when you read the Bible, you learn there might be a little bit of both. I'm just saying, I'm going to do more on this, but check this out. Meaning, I think there is definitely some systems that never evolve. But he is creating things in group, and wait till you see how he creates them and where they come from. Check out this movie here. This is going to take us through day 5, where we create the animals and the fish and the fowls, all the beautiful creatures we love. And so let's put me away and let's turn down the music and get ready for one of the best people who I was able to meet with. And let's hear some Bible science. Frank? Dennis, I was close. What's that?
Working with horses.
Cool.
And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind.
Horses would be part,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It doesn't just happen from nothing, right?
Right. Got to have a plan.
But people think it happened from a big bang or it happened from some random thing.
I think God created all things
Me too. What did God say is going to bring forth animals?
from the earth,
That's right. That's right.
from the elements of the earth.
Fish and birds from in verse 20.
And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth.
Fish and fowls come from the water. The earth brings forth cattle, horses, and all this, but you cannot find fish evolving into a horse. There's no link.
Not
And in the
this book.
scriptures, there's no link. The scriptures are way more scientific than science. Way better answers here. There's also no link from horses to people, from fish to people, and if you keep going, look where it says.
After their kind,
Right.
they multiply.
See, this guy knows. This guy knows. Let's hear it for Dennis. Thanks so much for being on.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having
Dennis was awesome. He was like so weirded out when I grabbed him and came over and was like, "Hey, Dennis, I want to get you on my show." I had no idea what any of these people would say, and he was so cool. I learned from that couple things. Check this out as we go close. Kind of what was already said there. Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature, the wells. So he's talking about the wells and the fowl. There's some definite connections between those animals. But look over here, he says, and God said, let's back that up. Let's give me one nice brown here. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature. What it looks like to me, his kind, cattle and creeping thing and the beast of the earth after his kind. It was so, and God made the beast of the earth after his kind, cattle after their kind. It's looking to me, just like we learned in the Abraham version, that God used elements from the earth and from the waters and didn't just create them from scratch or from nothing, and used that to, in a way, iterate, evolve, and vary these creatures, only to a point though, only to a point. This is where I think Darwin and everyone else, all the science, gets it wrong. Only to a point. They took it way too far, in my opinion, to get rid of God, which it's the opposite. There's no link between these land creatures and these water and fowl creatures. And even further, let's jump on to 26 right here. Oh, and by the way, the scriptures don't put the link, just like you saw in the movie. So I think they've got it right. It's right in the scriptures. Look at verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image. Okay, this is day 6, by the way. So we just finished day 5. This is the final day of creation. Let us make man. Now, remember, man, kind of like heaven, is taken different, or is not what you would think. Man is human, mankind. And you'll see here in a minute why. Mankind, human. Let us make human the most important creature. And you might have noticed there's been a lot said after his kind. See here, after his kind. Let us make plants after the fruit of the tree, after his kind. Let us make the animals after his kind. Okay, there's a lot of this said, and it was good, and it was good, and it was good. In other words, these things exist in some other place with God, or he has created them, and this is after his kind. But look what he says. And God said, let us. Interesting, the Abraham version, Genesis does have some clues that I think were lost in maybe some translations. Us, let us make man. Well, who is he talking to? Well, in Abraham, it's the gods. He's talking to Christ, the creator. Okay? This is why Jesus calls himself the beginning and the end, like Father Time. This is what he is, the Father of creation. This is why people get confused. Jesus is not God the Father. He is the Father of creation. He's the one creating it. So, and God said, let us. So it's in all of these versions. You just have to really parse through it and read it. Let us make man, people, humankind, in our image. Make him not after our kind. This is interesting. This is different. Man is different than horse, than fish. You are not made after God's kind. There isn't a man species, a human species, okay? There's too much intelligence. Everything else is created for humans. We learn this. You are the why. He doesn't say, let us make man after our kind, like it's a herd. He says, let us make man in our image. This is important. This is very, very important in regards to potential. If you are just an objective group, you lose your value. If you are an independent entity of value, okay, after something's image, but not dependent on that image, you hold all the potential to become like that thing. This is what he's saying. Let us make man in our image, not after our kind, in our image, after our likeness, because he has something in store for man bigger than just existing. Okay, it's different. When you get to people creation, it's different. And I have two really amazing movies. I hope you've stuck it through this far. I cannot wait to watch Grace and Janelle. I cannot thank them enough. I don't know if I'll ever see them again. We didn't exchange contacts or anything. I cannot thank them enough for doing the videos. Just wait till you see them. After our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl. Remember, they came from the waters of the air, and over the cattle. Remember, air is the same thing as firmament or the sky. And over all the earth. Remember, he's hinting. Remember, I brought these from the earth. That's why there's some similarities between zebras and horses, and not zebras and dolphins. Like, there's some, yeah, it's perfect. Again, the Bible to me is more scientific than science. Science only approximates itself year by year to the answers that have been there from the beginning. Check it out. Fowl of the air, of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Okay? So he's saying, all those things after our kind, all those things, man will have dominion because man's purpose is greater than this experience. Okay? Obviously, we know that from the Moses version. Your immortality and eternal life is the goal. So, God created man in... Okay, I'm not going to read this. We're going to do our video. Number 5. It's one of my favorite. And this is one of the biggest issues of our day right now. Male and female, gender. People are so confused about it. Just like winter and summer. Life is better with both. And to appreciate both is best. Okay, not to say summer has to be winter and winter has to be summer and day has to be night and night has to be day. That is what ruins it. Okay, to appreciate the design of the Creator in establishing male and female in this gender is one of the most important parts of this creation. Check out this video. I love it. You guys are going to love it. And there's even one better coming after this.
We go to Bible school.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we got experts coming on. Coming on.
Grace.
Grace?
I'm Janelle. I'm a dancer.
And I like swimming.
In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them.
To me, I think that's very clear. That I believe that God created male and female. And I think that's something that people in our day and age struggle with today. And just the distinction between the two and struggling with feeling that they don't belong in the bodies that God gave them.
We're in page 1, and it is things that are going on right now in 2022.
Yeah, it's very relevant.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, that's hard. I would just say, just remind them that, like, we each have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God really created each one of us with a purpose. And I think if, like, he made us male and female, like, you have a purpose with that role.
He made you that for a reason. Those are our tips.
I love it so much. They were so great. Expert Bible students. You got to be a Bible student just like them. Excuse me. Loved the video. Let's bring it in. So God, because of all that, created man in his own image. In the image of God, created he him, male and female, created he them. Just FYI, Adam and Eve doesn't exist yet. You're going to see in the next chapter when he puts man and woman on the earth. Remember, it takes from the rib and stuff. Well, hold on. These people don't look like us. I mean, they look like us probably, but he is creating their spirits, their design. He is creating them before they've been put on the earth. In other words, you're getting the blueprint. He hasn't formed Adam from the dust yet. I was confused about this. I thought this was when Adam and Eve got put on the earth. No. He's creating male and female. He's not just throwing a male down and throwing a female down. That happens later. This is misunderstood, I think, how deep the creation process go. This is looking under the hood. We are under the hood having creation of male and female, their purpose, their potential, their attributes. I imagine iteration of iteration on putting this intelligent matter together to create the beautiful, nurturing, reproductive female species, putting together the protective, providing, masculine, one track, do, conquer, defend, masculine male species. And a lot of you might be interested in that. Probably what you were more interested is we're going to connect this here, male and female. There's a bonus video. Okay, we're going to jump ahead to something I'll go over later, but I think you're going to be so interested in this. And I'm going to make more movies about this, but I asked Janelle and Grace, okay, if they're going to create male and female, I want you girls to read one more. I'm going to do this to guys too. And I asked them to read this verse right here about marriage because I wanted to hear their take on it. It comes later after Adam and Eve have been created, and it says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So check out what they had to say because I wanted to know what girls want out of guys. And this is what they had to say on this. Marriage.
Oh my gosh.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
I like that you wrote eternal marriage next to it.
Yeah, because it lasts forever.
Yeah.
Would you like a guy that stays in his parents' basement and hangs out with his parents and brings you there to
That would be
live happily ever after?
big no. You might want a guy that's like decisive, like he knows what he wants, can make decisions.
Pornography and bad stuff
Oh, yeah.
online. What are you
This
gonna
is so hard.
I don't think I would go into a relationship if I knew that the guy I was like interested in was struggling
No,
with
no,
that.
you got to get him clean before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
Gonna, it's not going to
No.
go well. Girls want a guy who's a sissy and has to be taken care of.
No.
Okay? Okay.
Big no.
Big no.
Super attractive.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, but that's not the most important thing.
It's lazy and doesn't work hard.
No.
Okay, doesn't want to have kids and just want a dog.
No.
Provides money for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
providing.
and a house.
Yes, a good relationship with their
Every
mom.
girl. A lot of guys don't want to get married. The marriage is kind of going away.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you want a guy that just wants to be your boyfriend or a guy who wants to marry you? Which one?
We date for marriage.
Yeah. Someone who loves the
Oh,
Lord
so
and is
good.
committed to that before committed to me, I think
Yeah.
is very important.
Yeah, because then it's a true love. If you
'Cause then
love
it's
God
like-
first.
Yeah. Where are the
Men.
good guys?
Where are they?
Where are the
Bible relevant today for these issues or no?
Absolutely.
Yes. Read the Bible.
Read the Bible.
Solid. All right,
answer
thanks,
your
Grace.
question.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Janelle.
So nice.
Thanks for letting- Girls want what? That is amazing. Man, some lucky guy is going to meet them, and I hope we all keep ourselves just, you got to deserve that. You got to deserve that. Props, huge props to Grace and Janelle for being, for reigniting my faith on Huntington Beach when I was like, who's going to be talking to me today? I had no idea. And they just home run, 100% home run. There it is. Therefore shall a man leave his father. What are you doing right now? What are you doing here on earth? You've left your father and his mother spiritually, like heavenly mother, heavenly father, but also when you're 18, get out of the house. Get out even earlier. If you can do it, get out. Why? The same thing we're going through this. Learn, grow, experience, be, do, and shall cleave unto his wife. Build that relationship. That famous Harvard study, number one thing that decides your happiness long term, one close relationship, not 50,000 followers, one close relationship. Everything was secondary to that. No one lonely is happy, okay? And the best connection is your spouse. I love you, Erica. Okay, and they shall be one flesh. So that was a bonus from later on about marriage. Marriage is ordained of God. It is being destroyed right now. It is being trampled. We've got to hold it, just like we have got to cherish the beautiful genders that God had designed spiritually and then created physically, male and female, which are frankly, they are completely being shredded right now. Scientifically, no basis. Biblically, no basis. Spiritually, no basis. And it's hurting people. It's destroying people. It's destroying families. It's destroying people. We need to help. Just so you know, for all those people are going to be like, I'll just say it. Around 88% of girls, by the time they reach 18 or adulthood, whether they were thinking, I don't know if I'm a boy or a girl, if they're having these kinds of thoughts, they work it out by adulthood. Okay? This is from the official guide. It's called like the whatever 5, I forget what it is, where they talk about all mental illness and all health things. They say, and over 90%, 98%, right around there, of males who might be having gender dysphoria or any of this garbage going on right now, which I guess for some people is real, but for most people it comes from psychological or physical abuse. Okay? I'm going to get nailed for this, but you cannot argue with the facts, and that is 98% of male boys, by the time they reach adulthood, will be completely fine with the gender at their birth. Problem is, some of these kids are having surgeries, some of these kids are getting duped, and they are not mature enough to make these decisions. Let them get to adulthood. Let them teach them things like this, that God ordained you to be a girl, and it is beautiful and wonderful. It is okay to like boy things. It doesn't mean you're a boy. It is okay to be a boy. It is awesome to be a boy. It is awesome to be masculine and straightforward. What did Janelle and Grace want? They wanted a man who would make decisions. Okay, this is their natural feminine design, wanting the natural masculine design to be decisive, to carry. Our physical brains are wired that way to be good at making yes and no decisions. Theirs are good for nurturing and taking on multiple tasks. It wasn't by mistake, and that wasn't evolution. That doesn't go away when you chart humans way, way, way early. Women didn't have 3 pathways back then, and now they have 6 to 7. Men didn't have a quarter of a pathway in their brain, and now they have 1. It's always been 1. It's always been 6 and 7. This is how it was designed. This is how we complement each other. Super complementary, male and female. All right, we've got one more verse, and then I'm going to say goodbye, and then I'm going to practice so I'm even better at this the next time around. So let's keep going. I've loved doing this, though. Honestly, this is, now that I have enough money and enough of everything I want in life, this is what I want to do. So you're carrying out my dream with me. So, okay, let's go. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein, I'm getting sloppy, wherein there is life. Wait, I'm missing something. Wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. He's given it to all the animals, to humans, to everything. There it is again. There's, you want to know about COVID, you want to know about health. It never changes in the scriptures. It is always the same, consistent from day one. Daniel, D&C 89, the word of wisdom. Alma 4640. I cannot say this enough. The only reason I'm bringing it up for like the 3rd time, no one is talking about it. No one is talking about it. It's insane. Every green herb for me. There's a Dr. Blum, B-L-U-M, from Johns Hopkins University, compiles all of the health studies. And he came out and he said, let's put this up. He came out and he said There's all of these studies going into mapping the genome. There's all of these studies going into all these ways to try to cure cancer, try to help all these different health elements. And when we put all of the studies together, we found out that even genetics at any age, there is only a 4 to 3% probability that your genetics will determine your health, meaning you're born that way. And he said that means 96 to 97% at any age, your health is determined by your environment. And he further goes on. This is Johns Hopkins, not Andrews School University. So it's legit. And then he goes on further to say, those doing environmental studies of diet and health and sleep habits and all of the factors you are doing to your body, your choices you're making, are having fanatic success in being a determinant for long-term probability of sickness, disease, health, lifespan. And he goes much further on to like choices like going into college or drug use and a lot of other things. But it's an amazing, comprehensive study. I emailed to ask him because I did not believe it was true, and he came back at me with this. He didn't give me the answer. He's like, whoa, what did you find? And so he made me go look up at the studies. Sure enough, only 4 to 5, even less. He said it's actually even less. Only 3 to 2% is dependent on your genetics. And we spend so much time with these pills and all this other crap. I know I'm going to get nailed for this. I don't care. The scriptures are consistent on one thing, and that is every green herb. Let me see this. Every green herb. Okay, so when I get sick, I'm taking the scriptures orders. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing. The scriptures orders. Again, Alma 46:41, or is it 49? I'll put it in the link. Daniel, the early chapters of what he did. D&C 89, Genesis 1. These are the health chapters in the scriptures. There's probably several others. All of them consistent. All of them give a path of what to do. And God sees this right after he gives everyone a diet of green herbs. And God saw everything he had made. And behold, it was very good. First time we hear that. Very good. Very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. And that was a week. My week was tiring. This isn't a week like what we go through week, but this span of 6 spans of time periods was tiring. Oh, it looks like we missed one. Oh, let's end on this one. This is where we're going to end, and this is where we're going to come back because I had a very exciting week. And this is what's going to be about on the next one. Another issue that is completely relevant. By the way, what we just read, this wasn't a creation story. It was, but it wasn't. This was a 2022 relevant story. This was applicable, everything right now. The marriage, the gender, the health, the duality of light and dark, and all of the other things, the seasons, the days. This is very much. This is why I took it this way. I read this chapter and said, this is not a creation episode. This is a today episode. What are you going to do about it? Be a light. What are you going to do? Eat healthy. Treat yourself healthy. What are you going to do? Oh my gosh, I'm going through these difficulties. Oh yeah, he put the rocky path there for a reason. He put the terrible season there for a reason. Well, I like winter, but he put the freezing cold for a reason. And let's connect it there. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning in the freezing cold. My car was completely iced over. I was grumpy as ever. But it was to go and broadcast the March for Life. And I wanted to do this one. This is 28, right after he creates male and female. Verse 28, let's zoom in really close so you can see this. That's how I should have it. And God blessed them, male and female. And God said unto them, is this the first commandment ever given? Hold on. This deserves a moment of reverence. Is this the first time? And by the way, he would be saying this to them as spirits. They're not on the earth yet. And God said unto them, is this the first commandment? Is this the first most important thing God gives to his creations to do? If this is, this is relevant today for abortion and pro-life. This is relevant for if you yourself should have children or not, if you should take care, foster, adopt. This is relevant for everything. What does he say? What does he say? I need a special color for this. Let's get a special color. Oh, what color is this? Well, my favorite color is these guys, these aquas. So I'm going to do that. Let me see. And God said, I'm going to erase it and then I'm going to underline it. This is the first and most important commandment. If you can take care of this one, I have a feeling you have taken care of the foundation and the most important one. Just checking on everything. And God, the gods, blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Interesting. And subdue it. That's interesting. Subdue the earth. I mean, like do things with it, do things to it, make things out of it, use it, and have dominion over the fish and the sea. He wants you to control the earth. Control it. Interesting. And over the fowl of the air and the animals and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And I have a whole slew of great movies that I'm going to be sharing next episode about life, about children, about multiplying, about this first great commandment. Multiply and replenish the earth. This might be a little heads up, God saying, okay, you're going to get some curveballs thrown your way. You're going to get some curveballs. But maybe you should fall back to the earliest commandment I give you. I guess that doesn't fully make sense because in the New Testament he changes it, but he says he changed it. This has never been changed, only emphasized. So in this case, it does make sense. We have got to multiply and replenish the earth. This has not been changed. It hasn't been changed in 2022. It is hard. It is very hard. We are tired. I am tired. My wife is spent. We're very tired. We just had our fourth kid. But that child needs to have eternal life, immortality and eternal life. And the only way that child gets it is by going through this experience. If you do not pass this experience on to children, they do not get it. There is enough space, there is enough resources, there is enough land, especially if we keep corrupt leaders from screwing with it and hogging it, okay? Which, if you've gone to third world countries, that's what you see, and that is what's happening in America, all right? That is what is happening in America. A polarization of have and have-nots because leaders are hogging it. They're not sharing it. They're not empowering people to live their lives. This is not political. This is why we're having a problem with families and children. We need to be fruitful. We need to multiply. There is enough for these babies. We should not be doing abortion. If there are women who feel, or men who feel like they can't handle it, is there people willing to financially and time-wise care and help them carry out their birth and help with whatever the situation is? I'll give the spoiler alert. The movie you're going to see is a guy of no legs, no hands, no arms, who was going to be aborted, and his whole experience. You've got to see it. Remember, he did not get rid of the difficulties. The difficulties are what make the journey, what make the immortality and eternal life and your divine future possible. Okay, that is why the difficulties are there. We can't not give this to other generations because we are selfish. We think the earth is too evil or wicked. It is not. It is full of light. It is full of good people, just not in the media. That's a joke because I work in the media. But it's not a joke. They're going insane. They're way too far. They're way too deceptive. Okay? And they're way too negative pushing on people. Okay? Children want to come to this life experience. There are billions waiting to have this experience. You can give that to them. This is one of the divine pieces that God has already given you to be able to create the physical part, not the spiritual part. He already took care of that. So let's finalize and read this one more time. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. You can do it. You can do it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. The world always was crazy. It's never going to get uncrazy. That's why you teach your kids this type of stuff. That's why you help them learn it, okay? That's why you prepare them, and they will be able to get through anything, okay? They want to be a part of your family. Marriage is important. It is the best way to rear children, okay? There's time and time again proven, getting married, graduating school, not having a baby until you're married is the keys to success financially in America and every other country. These are the building blocks of society, and they work. So if society falls, it's because these building blocks are falling. It's all in chapter 1. This is why we say spend the time on chapter 1. This is it. And I'm going to leave that with you. If there are any questions, anyone wants to call in, email that list. You can call in on the next one. I will save your thing. Share this, send it out to friends. Let them know we're going to be doing this every Sunday at 7 p.m. So join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I will see you at the next episode of Into the Verse.